My name is Bryan, this is Hassan, and we are Radiologic Sciences students. So this is Thomas Jefferson, just a couple of pictures. This is where we go to school. So the Department of Radiologic Science at Thomas Jefferson University offers bachelor degrees. It's very different than Radiologic Sciences here in that we go to school for 1 year for each modality. So Hassan is doing MRI, so he'll be doing MRI for just this year. And then he graduates and he has a bachelor's degree. Myself, I did radiation therapy for 1 year, graduated from Thomas Jefferson University, and then came back and I'm doing dosimetry. So Thomas Jefferson offers many different bachelor degree programs. There is cardiac sonography, CT, general sonography, invasive cardiovascular technology, MRI, nuclear medicine, radiography, and vasculosonography. And then also in terms of cancer treatment, there's radiation therapy and medical dosimetry, which I don't believe medical dosimetry is a field here. I believe physics takes care of that, if I'm correct. And then there's also some non-imaging modalities, health management and healthcare information systems. Thomas Jefferson University also offers a master's degree in the radiologic sciences, where students just come on campus 1 weekend a month for just 1 year, and that's considered full-time. There's also a two-year part-time variety, and they offer tracks in education and management, as well as clinical tracks in CT, PET-CT, and invasive cardiovascular. At Thomas Jefferson University, interprofessional interaction is encouraged through a lot of community service opportunities. So some of the things that Hassan and I are involved in is the Colleges Against Cancer Relay for Life, which is composed of students from all the different colleges at Thomas Jefferson University, and we raise money for cancer treatment and cancer research. Then there's also the Lambda Nu National Honor Society, which is an honor society, so the best and the brightest students, of which I'm the co-president. Hassan will soon be a member, I'm sure. You can only get into Lambda Nu after 1 semester. You're allowed in. So Hassan being his first year, now that it's second semester, he'll soon be in.
So after first semester, they look at what kind of student you are, since you're only here 1 year, and then after a month into the second semester, that's when you can become a member of the Lambda Nu.
And this year so far, we've raised a lot of money for pediatric cancer research with Alex's Lemonade Stand, a breast cancer boutique, and also we'll soon be raising money for an organization that helps families fighting multiple sclerosis to pay their bills and install wheelchair ramps and things of that sort. Then Leadership Live is another organization that Hassan and I are both involved with, and we basically attend seminars and perform community service, and that helps us to become better leaders.
So this was one event of the Leadership Live. This was in October. I started my program back in September. This was where we were packaging goods for the needy, people who are less fortunate. These are all the members of some of the members of the Leadership Live community. And this was an event that took 4 to 5 hours, and what we did was box up goods for the family that were needy, less fortunate.
So Thomas Jefferson University, one thing that's maybe a little different is that just like in America, the students come from a variety of just different backgrounds, different countries. There's a lot of differences, so we all learn to work together, find common ground despite a lot of things that do make us different from our upbringing. So this is myself and my daughter, Carlina. I'm licensed in radiography and radiation therapy. I have 11 years of experience in information technology as a web developer and project manager. I did that before deciding to change careers and come into the medical field. So 2014, I got my degree in radiography, and then 2015, I entered Thomas Jefferson University in a 1-year program for radiation therapy, and I graduated last August. And then they approached me about becoming a member of the medical dosimetry program, which I did this year, and I'll be graduating in August with another bachelor's degree. And on the weekends, I make money as a professional musician.
I went to Candy County College. I got my associate's degree in pre-pharmacy. I originally became a pharmacist. After working in retail pharmacy, I decided not to. And then 2010, I graduated from Temple University, the Bachelor's of Science. And then I worked with my family for about 4 or 5 years. I took a break from school. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I had a unfortunate case of I had a tumor grow on my side, and then I still have it. After visiting various doctors, oncologists, and imaging modalities, I found MRI to be the most interesting one. And I looked into it a little bit more. After finding out what MRI does, I was amazed and mind blown by it. And I started Thomas Jefferson, because health is all we do.
So radiation therapy at Thomas Jefferson University. I was in this program, the class of 2015. This is my class. Some of you might recognize some of the students. It's a 12-month program. Our class had 16 students. And just like radiation therapy here, the technologists were trained in the proper use of linear accelerators for cancer treatment and about patient care. But I think the approach that we take with our patients is maybe a little bit different than here. So when we're bringing them into the treatment room, there's a lot of small talk. How's the weather? How are you doing? We try to establish a very close relationship with the patient so that they feel very comfortable with us. It's not just all business. They become a part of our lives, we become a part of theirs, because we're gonna see each other probably for the next 30, 40, sometimes 50 days or longer. So some of the classes that we take in radiation therapy are patient care, cross-sectional anatomy, radiation protection, radiation therapy physics, the principles and procedures of radiation therapy, and that's the most important to the curriculum, I think. And then principles of radiation dosimetry. So we get an introduction into radiation dosimetry as radiation therapists, so we know how the plans are made, although we're not making the plans ourselves. Radiobiology, and then we're thrust into the clinical environment probably about 2 weeks after starting. So we're like baby birds. We kind of don't really know what's going on, and we learn in clinical as we learn in the classroom. Some of the things that help us out in being comfortable around a LINAC is our labs. So this is the Vert training system that Program Director Matt Marquez is demonstrating, and it gives us a Varian style pendant. We can switch out the machine that's projected. It could be Varian, it could be Electa, and this way we can get comfortable rotating gantry and not worrying about colliding with an actual patient. It also helps us to visualize fields when we're learning about the principles behind cancer treatment. So this year, I'm a member of the medical dosimetry team, and what we do is we do all the treatment planning for radiation therapy, which I believe is done by physics here. There's 9 students in our class, and they come from all across America. So there's only 20, maybe 20 dosimetry programs in all the United States, and they're very selective and very small classes. There's only 3,500 or so medical dosimetrists in the United States. So all of us are composed of one-year students. Some of us have backgrounds in radiation therapy, and some of us do not. And we work very closely with the radiation oncologists, the medical physicists, and we learn all different types of planning systems, such as Pinnacle, Eclipse, Exio, and one of the newest ones, RayStation. So this is actually a part of a plan that I did for tangential breast treatment. This is just an example. Left breast, an accompanying dose volume histogram from Pinnacle, and each plan is created for a specific patient by the medical dosimetrist, which is what I do this year. Some of our classes overlap with radiation therapy, but our classes are patient care, case studies in dosimetry, radiobiology, cross-sectional anatomy, radiation protection, medical dosimetry physics, survey of medical imaging, and with that we learned a little bit about MRI, we learned a little bit about CT, we learned a little bit about the science behind all the imaging sciences to help us understand exactly what we're looking at and how it's created, because we have to do a lot of the image fusion, so we have to know what we're looking at and what we're fusing it to. Quality assurance and instrumentation, which is basically what physics does. A lot of what physics does in the United States is quality assurance and instrumentation, so we learn a lot of the AAPM task groups and things of that sort. Brachytherapy and special procedures for radiotherapy. Some of you might recognize Dr. Gilman, Thunderbolt. All right. And this is just a picture of Dr. Andrew Wu, who is one of our instructors, teaching us medical physics 2. So this is the site that I do my clinical studies at. And for the radiation oncology sciences, there's an immersive 12-month clinical experience. And we stay at one single facility so that we really understand their protocols. We learn what the doctors like and how to perform at that site. So the Helen F. Graham Center is a site that I'm personally at. It's a very beautiful center. It's one of 17 National Cancer Institute of America selected community cancer centers in the United States. So we do a lot of research there. There's a lot of research done on new types of cancer treatment, new ways, new treatment protocols. So as a student, it gives us a unique opportunity to really be involved in the cutting edge of cancer treatment and research. So this is myself with my clinical instructor looking at some plans in Pinnacle. And basically, during the school year, we're at clinical for 3 days a week, and we're in the classroom for 2 days. So whatever we learn in the classroom is kind of reflected by what we learn at clinical. So we kind of mesh the two together between what's practical and what realistically happens. Because everything you learn in a book isn't necessarily what you see in practice.
So as Bryan was saying, this is magnetic resonance imaging. This is my class. We have 12 students in our class. You can be, like we said, either 1 year or 2 year students. So if you don't have your bachelor's, you have to have your prerequisites done, which are 50 credits for Thomas Jefferson once. I believe it's equal to what you have here with basic education. So you have your anatomy, basic anatomy, mathematics, physics, and a bunch of different courses that the university wants. And then after that, you get into either 1 year or 2 year modalities. 1 year, if you pick 2 year, then you start with maybe X-ray and then CAT scan next year. Or if you start with X-ray, maybe MRI, whatever your interests are. So these are all my classmates. I miss them, they're all my friends. We're only 12 people, just specifically for MRI. So everybody here is studying MRI. I know she has a background in X-ray, so she went to school for 1 year, not at Thomas Jefferson, a different school. She did X-ray last year at Thomas Jefferson, so she didn't have her bachelor's. She came in with credits that were required by Thomas Jefferson, and then she finished her X-ray. She'll finish her MRI. She'll take both exams or whichever exam she wants, whether X-ray or MRI, after finishing her second year. So you can finish your X-ray and then you can't just take the exam. You have to finish your second modality, MRI, CAT scan, whatever you want, and then take your exam, whichever field you like.
If you're in the 2 year program, because like I was in the 1 year program, so I did radiation therapy, then I took my exam, and then
Guys do the same thing. You know, if you have your bachelor's, then you do 1 year and then take your exam, and then maybe if you want to do another one, you can. You just have to reapply again. And then same thing. She's a 2 year student. She's doing radiation therapy next year. 1 year. So it all depends on how you approach and how you start your system. So all our academic, like I said, 12 students, either 1 year or 2 year students. All our academic classes, some of them coincide with other students from CT or X-ray, such as patient care. That was Dr. Young's classes. Everybody takes patient care in one room. But as far as just specifically for MRI physics, which is, I believe, the most important part of MRI, and then MRI safety, which is, it's as important. And then cross-sectional anatomy, MRI procedures, informatics, and then pathology. Seminar continues from, all these classes start in September, some of them end by January. That's when your mid-semester happens. And you're at clinical from day one. So I started my program, I've never been in a hospital before. I started, and next day I was in a hospital in clinical with real patients. So I had no idea what I was doing. You have to learn very quick. If you don't learn very quick, you're going to drown. It's like swimming. They throw you in, you have to swim. Otherwise, you drown. So this is that's my professor, Dr. Chip Meaning. He's a physicist. His specialty is in astrophysics. He's a very smart man. He teaches CAT scan and MRI. He's the program director for both of them. That's my physics class. And the other one's is Dr. Eagle. He's my informatics professor. So informatics is how images are acquired and data portion of it. It's similar to what engineering here is, but it's all in theory. So all students from nuclear medicine, so these are MRI students, the other ones are nuclear medicine, CAT scan. So everybody kind of, classes that are coinciding can all have the same classes. But MRI physics, just specifically MRI students. Clinical experience, as Bryan said, clinical experience goes hand in hand with what you learn. So far, overall, in 1 year, there's 50 weeks. So 3 days a week you're in clinical, that's 150 days. You're supposed to be there about 8 hours, but most students stay more than 8 because you want to learn more. As you learn, this is medium grade scanning. When I first went into my clinical, I had no idea what I was looking at. But for your first thing for anatomy that you learn is brain. And then the first scans you learn is brain. So in about October, you should know what brain is like. And now I can do the whole brain by myself. I know exactly what I'm looking at. And Jefferson University presents students, like I said, learning opportunity and clinical hand in hand. So I didn't know how to do an abdomen scan, but now I'm learning abdomen, and now I know how to do an abdomen scan for with MRI, and how to handle patients and how to screen them. So overall, 50 weeks, 3 days a week, that's about 1,200 clinical hours with real patients. We don't have an MRI lab. I know X-ray students, they have an MRI lab. Ultrasound, I believe they have, they have their own lab. So you get some practice, and then you're at clinical also. But with MRI, there is no lab. You just go through clinical.